Welcome to the Divorce Playbook podcast. This episode is me about the last few weeks because things have happened, folks. But after recording that, before we were able to publish, Scott and I talked about mapping out the next few weeks. I need to do a better job of updating all of you, and I apologize for that on him. He is still recovering from this back surgery, and to be honest, it's miraculous how he sounds. Like he sounds the same, which is why I think people are like, well, what's wrong? I can't believe that he's powering through the way he is based on all of the things that he shared with me. And we want to share with you soon. And I think we're going to focus not just on the physical rehabilitation, because he can speak to that when he comes back and like what he's had to go through, but really the mental. And I think that we're going to go in that direction a lot. I know we've talked about that with my journey over the last year of divorce. And Scott has touched on that with regard to divorce, but there's also another aspect of it of being alone when your kids aren't there and whatnot. So the next few weeks, we're going to be focused a lot on things that are really, I don't want to say plaguing, but things that we're all dealing with, especially now as the world's opening back up. And I'm very excited. It's going to be really interesting. And so I wanted to give an update. Again, he sounds great. He still can't get off the couch because physically it's amazing that he's powering through the way that he is. And I cannot wait until he's back so I can be called an idiot by someone other than myself. And on that note, here comes the show.
You're banned, you're banned, you're banned, honey dip, you're banned, you're banned. You're banned.
Yo, you're banned by the preacher man.
Welcome to the Divorce Playbook podcast. Why am I playing De La Soul for the beginning of the show? Well, it was that or this.
So listen up, y'all, to what we say. We won't be banned in the USA.
I mean, if you're going to start a show, why not start it with two live crew? But why are we talking about being banned? What does that, what? For people who are watching on YouTube, you're going to see something in a second. For people who are listening, I'll obviously read what I'm about to show everyone. And drum roll, please, or whatever you want to do. You just do it yourself. Yeah. I got banned by Tinder. I got banned by Tinder. This is almost a badge of courage. This is a badge of honor, excuse me. There's no courage in getting banned by Tinder. I have no idea what I did. I have no clue. All I do know is that I was on Tinder, hadn't been on for a while, tried to match with a few people, didn't change my bio at all. So it's not something that I posted. I accidentally posted a picture that it goes against the regulations or whatever. I have no idea. The only thing I can think is that I either said something to someone that they took offense to, or I tried to match with someone that maybe I had tried before. I've talked about on the show, like the neighbor, the local person, I saw her profile. So like as a, hey, how you been? Like, I thought we were on good terms. So like, I'm just trying to, everyone does that. Like when you've already matched with somebody on another app, you're like, oh, hey, look, there, I see you on here too. I don't know if that's what got me banned or not, but I am banned for life from Tinder. Now I can set up another account with another phone number or whatever, but like, yeah, banned for life. So I, of course, want to know why, because I think that's within my rights to see what I did so I can correct my behavior. The last thing I want to do, and I'm saying this earnestly, is to offend anyone who I'm trying to match with, or even if it's not somebody I want to match with, I'm not going to go out of my way to call somebody names. Now, if you remember, you go back, this is a couple of months ago, there was a woman from Ohio who was looking to for a hookup and matched with me on Bumble. And we got in a little back and forth, and I was like, are you driving all the way to New Jersey for a hookup? And she's like, well, no, I thought you'd be a gentleman. I'm like, you want me to drive to Ohio? And she got very angry at me and said that something about New Jersey hoes and whatnot. And so I blocked her on Bumble. And when Bumble asked me why, I put in there that I found what she wrote to be offensive because she was like going at me for no reason. And Bumble wrote me back and said, "Thank you for that. That account has now been banned." I wasn't trying to get the woman banned. I just think that's hilarious that's all it took. And so I'm wondering if that's what happened on Tinder. If you are out there and you were the one who got me banned, let me know on Instagram at Dan Levy 609 is my newer Instagram for people who maybe missed the last couple of episodes. I got I got banned on Instagram too, but that's back. So now I have two Instagram accounts. But yeah, banned on Tinder. And so again, I am a paying customer of this app. Most people are not. I have given them a significant amount of money for the return in the last year plus. And so I made sure in the email exchange with their support, they are very clear that there is no appeals process. There is nothing you can do. If you're banned, fuck you, you're out. That's pretty much what the email said. To which I wrote back, can I at least just know what I did? I got a response back. There's no appeals process. To which my response to them was, I'm not asking to appeal. I'm fine with being banned, I guess. I just want to know what I did. Well, there's no appeals process. We cannot share that information with you. And I reminded them that I am a paying customer. And this is terrible customer service. Now, again, they don't care, but I made sure that I did the math. I paid for a year up front because it saved a ton of money. And I figured I had the money. Let me just throw it up now so I don't have to deal with this every month. And look, it's a discount. It's like 16 bucks a month. It's $192 for Tinder for the year. And I am not through the year. I did it last summer. And so I still had like 50 bucks worth of prepaid Tinder that I want back. So I said to them, I was like, look, if you're not going to tell me what the fuck I did, fine. But I want money back because I can't use your service. Why am I paying you? And I got a note back. They are refunding me all of my money. 191 and change coming back to me from Tinder. So essentially, I got banned from Tinder and got like, I don't know, 9 free months of Tinder. Banned from Tinder. There can't be anyone else out there. And again, send me a note, send us a note at Divorce Playbook on Instagram, on Facebook. Have you ever gotten banned from a dating site? And again, I look, there are things on the internet that are of mine that could probably get me banned from certain sites. Other sites, you meet a lot of people, whatever. But the point is, I'm not stupid. I know what goes where. I didn't mean it like that. But I know what photos are. I have actually been the person who has read the terms and conditions. To which I then again read the terms and conditions and said, I've read this. I have not violated any of these knowingly. Please let me know what I did. No, they don't care. They don't care. Banned. That should be the whole show. But I have other stuff I want to talk about. So that's the first thing. Second thing, let me just show a picture just to get that out of your system. Again, for people who are on YouTube, this is going to be hopefully the most adorable thing you see all day. Yes, this is a site and a show born out of brotherhood. Scott is still healing for people who are like, why is this person just talking by himself? It's been a process for him, and I feel terrible. But now you can see him on the screen. He's the one pursing his lips on the back with the. I mean, this is the 80s. I'm the one in the front. It must have been 2-1. This is like 1979, 1980, somewhere around there. And then Paul, who's the oldest, he's 9 years older than me. So I guess if I'm almost 2, he's probably like 10 or 11 in that picture, which would make Scott like 7 or 8. There you go. So if you're listening and you're like, what? Go to the YouTube and check it out. There's a link everywhere. You can find it. Go to our Facebook page, go to Instagram. You can find links in our profile, in our bio and stuff. And yeah, check it out. Otherwise, you're just staring at my face the rest of the time. And so as I go back to that, you can also, if you want, you can see the shirt that I'm wearing. Speaking of banned, did not do this on purpose. It's a new shirt that we will be soon selling on a different shop. It just says "Cool Band" because I figured why not? And we did neat design, and somebody would be like, "Hey, it's a cool band shirt. Hey, what band do you like? Oh, it's a cool band." It's like my favorite shirt now. It's stupid, and that's why it's my favorite shirt. A couple more things. Let me just set the table for what I want to talk about. The other day, I went out on a date with a woman who I tried to match with months ago and then forgot about. But when I tried to match, I was like, oh, I really hope this woman matches back with me. She seems like this would be a good fit. So I'm excited if she were to get back to me. And then I never, just kind of in and out, forgot. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she pops up. We start talking. And I realized at that moment that there are different categories of swiping. And I broke it down into 5. And I've asked other people about this, people who know a lot more about dating sites than me. And we've sort of workshopped this to the 5 swipe categories. So we're going to do that in a minute. But I do have to say that my youngest said to me the other day that he wants to have, when he gets to high school, so that'll be in 3.5 years ish, he wants to have what he called a date race with me. Now we need to come up with a different name for that, because that's one of those things that if you say quickly, you had a date race with your dad. What? Date race. And what he means by that is that he wants to start at a certain day and both of us try to procure a date. And whoever can get a date faster wins the bet. Now he wants to wait till high school, so God bless. To which I laughed, because the person who literally just came out of nowhere after several months, we ended up texting back and forth and made plans to hang out that night. She lives an hour-ish away, and I was like, I'll get in the car. I was kind of joking, but I love spontaneity and I love just doing things on a whim. And if anyone's out there and you're within an hour and a half drive of me and you text me right now and say, hey, let's hang out, I don't care if we're throwing darts or doing whatever. I was going to do something gross, but it's it's absolutely something that I will say yes to. And for people who have followed my journey on this show and certainly previous to this, you know that I always was a person who said no first. You can always take back a no. Somebody asks you to do something, you can say no, but then you can always be like, you know what? Have you gotten anybody for that? Or you know what? I've thought about it again. Yes. That's how I always looked at life. Say no first and then come back around. And that's infuriating for other people. And I never knew it because, 1, I never wanted to do anything because I was super depressed. And 2, even when I wanted to do stuff, my first inclination was anxiety and panic. And no. That's something new. I need to process this first. And instead of saying that, because I wasn't able to articulate that at the time, because I didn't even know that that's what I was feeling, I just would say no. And so now I say yes. Not every time, but a lot of times I will say yes. And so the other day, I matched with this woman. I would say I didn't do the math, but I'm saying within 45 minutes of texting, it went from, hey, oh my gosh, thanks for matching with me, to what are you doing tonight? And bam, I was sitting on this couch right here at 7:30, having not showered yet that day. I was just not even like having any clothes, like just wearing like shorts and a t-shirt, watching TV. And I was at a bar an hour away by 9. You do not want to date race me, son. That is not something you want to do. And speaking of which, I actually thought I was going to be on a date today, another person who lives an hour away. And this goes back to the 5 categories. Both of these women go back to the 5 categories. Actually, a large number of women who I've matched with lately I was so happy to not be on these apps, and then I didn't expect to be so quickly put back out there, and I was frustrated at the beginning, but you know, maybe the caliber of people who are now coming on these apps because vaccinations, because the pandemic is sort of loosening, people are more apt to go onto the app, and there's just not that the matches I've had over the last year have not been amazing people, and certainly some people who I've had long friendships and other sort of relationships with, and are very important to me, absolutely. But at some point you're like, all right, I've seen everybody in the area, like I've swiped, I've seen these same profiles like 30 times, like I'm not gonna all of a sudden say yes. But now all of a sudden there's new people popping up, or people who find me, and yeah, I think, as I say into these 5 swipe categories, I think that there's one that I am hitting a little more often than I expected, and so we'll get to that. But before we get to that, um oh, by the way, so the date I was supposed to go on, I was very excited about and very happy to drive an hour away for this, and then it got canceled. And the reason it got canceled is because either one, I was being catfished, which I wasn't ish, or two, I wasn't being catfished. This woman has children, and her ex essentially made her take the kids back tonight, even though it was his day, to spite her because they do not get along. I'm hearing one side of it, but as someone who has had tension with his ex, but by and large gets along, and I think certainly over the last few months, we have gotten along great, and it's been great for me. I hope it's been great for her. It's certainly been great for our kids. There's no reason to not, especially when you have children. And there might be a reason. I'm not saying I'm not saying there's not a reason to hate someone. I'm not saying there's not a reason to dislike someone or to not want to be in the same room with someone. There are very, very many reasons for all of that. What I mean is to just be spiteful because you're now divorced, someone you used to love, to just be a dick to someone, even if there is valid subtext to it. When there's kids involved, and we talk about this, Scott does the kids first all the time at the end of this, and we talk about this so much on this show. Put your damn kids first. Think about your kids. And I'm not saying think about your kids so your ex can go on a date with some rando that she matched with yesterday. By the way, if you want to date race me on that one, kid, this was like less than 24 hours. So again, I don't even know what's going on, but you're not winning. Let's just not make this bet. Because maybe in 3 years, if this starts to go away and everything else starts to droop, then maybe. But right now, it is a non-starter. You're not winning this bet. But anyway, the point is, as disappointed as I was happy looking at my current situation, because this woman said that she has been divorced about a year, and I don't know if it's divorce technically, but they've been apart for a year. I shouldn't assume. And he's just not holding up his end of the custody agreement, and she's beside herself. And obviously, it impacted my day much less than hers. So take it for what it's worth. I'm disappointed, but nonetheless, now I get to talk to you guys. So my loss is your also loss or gain. I don't know, but it got me thinking. I have some quick screen captures of some things that I have seen on dating profiles that are big time don'ts. And the reason I want to say this is because I had a don't happen to me yesterday. Another person a little over an hour away, and again, just no idea why this woman is matching with me. We go back and forth. We get to a point where we're talking about trying to meet up, logistically speaking, could it work, and blah blah blah. And then I get the question I get quite a bit from people is, what do you do? And I explain what we're building here, and that we're trying to help a lot of other divorced parents, single parents, co-parents, um, trying to figure out a way to build a community that we can help each other, but also just have a place where maybe you didn't think about this, or maybe one of our tips on the spring cleaning, just things that we are doing. And obviously we're texting back and forth, so I didn't get into the great depth of the amount of things that we're doing, but I talk about a podcast, I talk about these downloadable guides that we offer people. And I think when people still when people hear the word podcast, they think, oh, how cute. No, look, I'm not going to say that we have a million listeners, but there are a lot of podcasts that have that many. And 15 years ago, when I had a podcast, I had thousands of downloads per day. It did a daily show. So to think that this is like just some like kids playing in a sandbox is ludicrous. And this is where the don't comes in. Whether it's inadvertent or not, be careful how you word things when you're talking about what someone else does and talking about someone else's work or someone else's passion. When people are proud of what they do or they put out there what they do, just don't word it in a way that could come off as belittling or disrespectful. And so when somebody says that they have a podcast to help single parents and divorced people, and your response is, well, a lot of people have podcasts these days, followed up by, so what's your schedule for like whatever else you do? Like what do you do for real work? I was just going to unmatch with this woman after that, but I thought she needs to know that that's not really something. And I wasn't mean about it. All I said was, I'm trying not to take that the way I hear it, and I'm assuming that you intended it a different way than I'm hearing that. And that's all I said. And I went back a half hour later and she had unmatched me, which is for the best. Because if someone is not going to even consider that maybe what we're doing is helpful and maybe what we're doing is work that someone can be proud of, it's not just like a side project that, oh, how cute. Obviously, that's a disconnect. And that's something that I've learned is you can't, if something's not working, something's not working. If you're that quick and something like that happens, like it's not even worth it. I used to think like, well, she's attractive, maybe I can go on a date and at least like get that quick burst of affirmation or hook up or whatever else. There's plenty of other people to drive that far, to drive 10 minutes, let alone an hour, to drive wherever for somebody who doesn't respect what you do or doesn't understand who you are or things about you, judges you. And this talk about the water ice person the other day, like looks at you with just great judgment. Like that was obvious that I was never going to hang out with that person again. And I knew it right then, but I was like, you know what? I promised her that I would want to hang out and I did. So I held up my end of it, never heard back, for the best. We were not a good match. So I hope that what happened tonight, hopefully we're going to hang out in a few days. And so I'm hoping that what happened tonight is not a harbinger for more of that. I'm hoping that it is a situation in which it's not, the distance isn't too far, the deal with the ex isn't insurmountable, and so on. But anyway, I want to go to, so there's the don't belittle people. Yeah, everyone has a podcast, cool. Not everyone can do this. And I'm not saying that this episode perhaps is like the greatest episode. I got banned by Tinder. Did I say this yet? Tinder banned me. I got banned by the seedy underbelly of online dating. I don't even understand. I am so perplexed by this. And by the way, I'm having caffeine at night, so that's probably why I'm talking faster. But really, it's because I have this like weird residual energy from getting banned by Tinder. It's almost the greatest thing that could happen to me. Like, I don't even need it because it's all it does is give you a headache. I could use it for the research purposes, but I can always set up another account for the research purposes. And I have thousands of screen captures. Maybe that's why I got banned. Maybe they found out that I just like screen capture everything and then use it for work purposes. Yeah, I didn't think of that. All right. So we're going to go now to, from that to this. We're going to, it's more screen captures actually. We're gonna look at some of the other don'ts that we've had, and some of these are really good. This is a pet peeve of mine. I won't say it's everyone's, but don't put the word normal. Like, and again, like you can do this if you want. I'm not. This is not maybe the best way to start this, but to me, when you put you're looking for someone, you're hoping someone is normal. I as someone who has dealt with uh, a lot of what I have dealt with over the last 4 or 5 years, certain no, let me correct that, over the last 43 and a half years or whatever. Um, I always say normal is a 4 letter word. That is it is a very derogatory term for for what most people use it for. It's not I don't want somebody weird. It's I don't want somebody who's got fucked up mental problems. That's what it means. You better not be a psycho. You better not be a wacko. You better not be, you know. And to me, the whole concept of normal is horrifying. No one, there is no normal. Everyone is themselves. There are people who maybe gravitate toward the mean, and if that's normal, that's a sheep mentality. Look what's going on in this country right now, like literally right now. Look what's going on in the world. Do you want that? You want to be normal? You want to be like everybody else? You're looking for someone who's just going to like fall in line? Are we goose stepping now? That to me is normal. I mean, it's not normal, but when you say you want normal, so don't do that. Here's another one. For people who aren't reading this or who are just listening, I'm the person you've waited for your whole life to meet. I'm looking for a professional gentleman. I know what I deserve. I'm a catch. Let's make history together. It's fine to be confident. And this is legitimate advice. I'm not ripping this person. It's fine to be confident. You should be confident. When you're out there, you're putting yourself out there. You're saying to someone, I'm a catch. But in the first thing you say about yourself, this is your first opportunity other than your photo at the top of your profile to give something of yourself to someone, knowing that there are thousands of other people out there that you're quote unquote competing with. I know people hate that term, but essentially they, as Scott always says, gamify these apps to the point where you're basically competing with other people for attention. I'm the person you've waited for your whole life to meet. All right, a little tongue in cheek, like I think highly of my, like you're trying to be cute. It's worded well. I'm looking for a professional gentleman. That's fine. I know what I deserve. Okay. Now I'm starting to worry because I know what I deserve makes me think that this person has struggled finding someone they think is as good as them, that they've had perhaps bad experiences in previous relationships, which means they are coming into this with baggage, and baggage is fine. But this particular baggage is you need to live up to my standards because the last guy didn't, or the last 7 guys didn't. And so right off the bat, what this says to me, or woman, what this says to me though is you're already on notice because I know what I deserve and you need to be good enough for me. I am a catch is the next line. Great. Let's make history together. Again, that's whatever. This person is very high on themselves. And honestly, I don't think there's anyone on the internet, at least with the profiles that I've seen, I don't think there's anyone out there who would be able to live up to what this person is looking for. That doesn't exist. And if it does exist, that person is faking it. This one, swipe right. So swipe right for people who don't know is the yes, right? Swipe right if you want a school nurse to take care of you every day. I'm assuming that's a clever way of saying that this person is a nurse for a living. And yet, underneath, a pro and con of dating me. Don't do this. I work hard. I play hard. I never settle for less. I cliche. I cliche. I never settle for a cliche. Like the work hard, play hard thing. What? Does anyone who says on their profile, if you say on your profile, work hard, play hard, please send at Divorce Playbook on any of the whatever you call it, apps, websites, blah blah blahs, and then you could send it to me directly at Dan Levy 609 on Instagram. What does work hard, play hard even mean? Like, I work hard. I've always worked hard. But like, what does play hard mean? Like, are you tackling people? Are you very aggressive in your uh, crafting class? Or what, like, is the wine tasting this weekend gonna just be like, I'm chugging, I am playing hard? What does that mean? I never settle for less. Less than what? Less than hard? I mean, you probably shouldn't settle for less than hard. It would make for awkward circumstances sometimes. Nevertheless, the next don't put insane conspiracy theories on your profile unless you make it clear you are joking. I'm convinced that, and this person put, we didn't land on the moon. Nothing else in this person's profile gave any indication that they are like this wild conspiracy theorist. But they could maybe believe that that's true. It's weird. This is like the Kyrie Irving flat earth thing. Like, he says he was kidding, but no one thought he was kidding at the time, and it wasn't really funny. And so, was he kidding or was he not kidding? That's what this says to me. Are you joking, or do you think that the moon landing never happened? Because that's a very different person. And maybe they're putting it out there just to see what the responses are. If people come at them and be like, you're a nut job, well, obviously that's not a good match. If somebody comes out and says, oh my God, that's hilarious, well, then that person gets my type of humor. But for the people who maybe don't know it was humor, then that's not a good match. So maybe that's what it is, or that person thinks that literally the moon landing was faked. Very fine people on both sides. Here's another don't. And I'm going to show this picture. It's a series of pictures because it's important. So if you haven't gone to our YouTube to pick up where you are, stop at this point if you're listening, and at some point go check out the YouTube. I got catfished yesterday. And I knew I was getting catfished. I was pretty sure I was getting catfished, but I wanted to play it out. And so somebody who does not have a photo on their profile matched with me. You know how I feel about that. I'm a sleuth. I always want to see what's going on. And so I say, hey, well, you live nearby. Let's see what you're looking for. Well, it turns out that the person who sent a message to me is married, but their husband does not provide for them in the in the bedroom or other rooms, not doing things that are traditionally done in bedrooms anywhere. And they're very frustrated, and so they're looking for someone else. And I was like, well, what the fuck do I care? Let me just see where this goes. And it was we live 2 towns away, and I said, if you want to come hang out, well, I have my kids. I'm like, oh, well, that changes a lot of things. Okay, but I can host. Oh, you can host? Well, but do you have your kids? How are you going to host? Well, I'll just send my kids to my neighbor's house. I'm like, you want a random guy you've never met to come into your home, and your children are next door. At this point, I thought it was a house, like they're playing in the backyard. I mean, and I was like, aren't you worried about your neighbors? No, I'll bring you in myself. Well, where's your husband? He's away on business for the next few months. And that, by the way, if that ever happens to you out there, is a direct signal that you are being catfished. When they say that their husband, and this happens on many accounts, I get this like twice a week, when their husband is away on business. Keep in mind, you can't even fly to many countries right now and get back into this country. So the catfishers, the people who are trying to get your information from you, didn't even update their sort of game plan to try to dupe people into giving information. And so I obviously am not using my real phone number when I'm texting with these people. I use a Google talk number, so they can't get anything connected to any accounts or any information that I would have. A lot of the social media sites, you can use your phone number to log in. All this person wanted me to do was to give the make and model of my car. So when I pull up into the apartment complex, they wanted me to sneak into an apartment to hang out with them in the middle of the day, and their kids are next door. And I said, I'm a little nervous about this. And I had been sent a couple of pictures, And I said, can we do like a quick phone call? No, I can't use my phone for calls because my husband tracks my phone calls, but not your texts. Okay. You're not very good at this, but I'm playing it out. She says, I can send you a picture. This is right now. I'm going to show this and I'll blur out some of it for people who are, it's important for a second. Okay. So I'm going to send you a picture, she says. And this is the picture that she sent. Okay. Take it for what you will. What I'm looking at is tan and white shirt, pink lipstick, hair that's got some highlights in it. When I try to do this phone call and I'm told I can't, I said, okay, but I need to, I've been catfished too many times. I need to know that you're real. Can you write my name on a piece of paper and then send me a picture of you holding it? Every time that I've gotten catfished before or attempted catfished, that's where it ends. Why would I have to do that? And they get very aggressive and angry. Like I did something wrong. Why would I have to do that? You don't trust me? No, I absolutely don't trust you. No, just all I'm asking you to do is you sent me 4 pictures already. Just take another one. Oh, well, I can't. Something's wrong with my phone. All these weird excuses. But this time I got one. This time I got a picture and my name is on a piece of paper. And so for people who are watching again on YouTube, look at this. I mean, it's weird that that's how someone would write my name in all triangles, but Dan has some triangle ability. And I thought, oh my God, maybe this woman is real. Am I going to drive 2 towns over to hang out with a woman because her husband's out of the country on business? Is this really going to happen? And then I looked closer at the photo and I thought, well, that's not the shirt she's wearing in the other picture she sent me. And that's not the same shade of lipstick. And she said, well, I changed. Okay, but you changed your lipstick as well? Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, ladies, but if you're texting with a guy for an hour, do you go up to wherever and change your lipstick? Okay, so let's see what else is peculiar in this. Well, it's peculiar that there are steps in this photo because I looked up the apartment complex that this woman said she lives in, and they're 1-story apartments. So where are those steps going? Where are the steps going? Are there more catfishers upstairs? And then I looked even closer and I saw a snowman with reindeer heads next to the fireplace and a blanket that looks like it has winter scenes on it. And right behind her head looks like there's some green and red, which looks like Christmas decorations. And so I said, if you just took this picture with my name on this after you changed your outfit and changed your makeup, why are there holiday decorations out? And that's when the anger came. What? All caps? Screw you. What are you talking about? I was like, you sent me a picture from the winter and you said it was right now. And you clearly photoshopped my name onto there. How do I know that? Don't fuck with a guy who knows Photoshop. Because if you look very closely, and this is a pixelated thing because they purposefully sent me a pixelated photo. So you can't look and then determine that it's faked. Look at the nails and look at how sharp this bleed cuts off. When it's a pixelated photo, a lot of times the colors bleed into the adjacent pixels. This cuts off. That would dissipate. That would be like 3 more pixels, 2 more, and it would kind of go to a point because the nail itself goes to a point. This is abrupt. And why is it abrupt? Because whoever did this took my name, and before they put it on this piece of paper, they obviously eliminated whatever was on this piece of paper. Clearly, I am not the first person to say, hey, can you please send me something on this piece of paper and show me that you're real? And that is how I knew that I was being catfished. For sure. Also, everything else I just mentioned. If you're going to come at someone, get your shit right. Now, this one, and this took hours, by the way, I was doing other things, but this went back and forth for hours. This was one of the best attempted catfishers I ever had. And people ask, like, what are they in for? Well, that you can get a lot of information out of people because you'll have their phone number. They give you an address. And so they sometimes ask you for your address. So now all of a sudden they have your home address and your phone number, and they know your name. This time they wanted my car make and model. Don't give any information out to people unless you trust them. And you can't trust someone who's going to change their lipstick in the middle of a conversation and put on a different outfit in the winter. So that's that. That was a fun time. But they get very angry and it's very hilarious. And maybe that's why I got banned from Tinder. This wasn't on Tinder. I swear it wasn't on Tinder that I met this person. But I might be insane. I'm definitely not normal, but I might go into this a little too much. If I'm now zooming into the pixel level, this might be a little bit more in depth than most catfishers think that the mark is going to go. Anyway, so that's that. Now, to finish up, let's go through the 5 categories of swiping. Clearly, that woman is perhaps I shouldn't have even engaged with somebody who doesn't have a photo up. And that's where I'll go with the first one is the hard pass. No chance you'll match with them, swipe left. It doesn't matter why. They could be unattractive, they could be too far away, they could be racist, they could be whatever. It doesn't, I don't care. Hard pass. Number 2, no, but almost a maybe. Like it's been a while and they live pretty and you kind of stare at the person's face and you're like, there's one photo that looks really good. There's 4 photos that if there's one photo that looks good and 4 that you're not attracted to, it's always the 4. It's never the one photo that they look at. Everybody can look good in one photo. Most people can look good in 2 photos, but you got to scroll down to like 3, 4, 5. And then you get a sense of like, there it is. That's what the person actually looks like. And that goes to another thing that happened this week where someone, a very attractive woman, had very, very heavily filtered photos. And I asked her, I said, look, with all respect, I'm not judging you for doing it. I'm asking you legitimately, you're a very attractive woman. Why did you do that? Why are you putting these heavy filters on your face? And she said, well, it's no different than wearing makeup. And I thought to myself, it's absolutely different. And she ended up unmatching with me because I don't think she cared for this conversation. But it's absolutely different. If you wear makeup, sure, that's not what your face actually looks like. But if you meet me in a bar or we hang out and you walk in, you're wearing that makeup. Your face in the photo with makeup looks like your face here. Again, it may not look like what your actual face is without makeup, but I won't see that for a while. And if you are a person who wears makeup, man, woman, or otherwise, if you're someone who wears makeup all the time, then it's no different in a photograph than it is in real life. When you filter a photo, you are essentially telling someone this is what I look like. And that's not true, because when you see them in person, that's not what you'll look like. You can't bring the filter with you. It's like when people put photos on there and all of a sudden they have less hair, or all of a sudden they gain 10, 15 pounds. And they're like, oh, I didn't update my profile. Well, it's not what you look like anymore. So to me, putting filters on your photos is not the same. And that's where you get into the no, but almost maybe. If they're heavily filtered and you're like, oh, wow, this person's really attractive. And then there's like the one from a little bit further away that you can't really use that filter on. And you're like, there it is. No, but almost. And then number 3, and this leads to the next sort of maybe, but this is more of the maybe yes. I call it the single subject swipers. These are people who you probably shouldn't swipe because it's not going to be a lasting thing in most cases, because you look at their profile and you're like, it's okay, it's boring, it's maybe I disagree with this or that. They like hockey or country music or fish. Not the band, that'd be fine. The fish that they hold up, like if you're not into that. But there's one thing about them that you're like, you know what? Why not? Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see if I can text with them or hang out with them and see if maybe give them benefit of the doubt at the initial stage. And that those things, the single subjects, are locale, if they're close. Well, I don't know if we get along, but she's close. If you like the same bands, if you like the same TV shows, if she's wearing nerdy glasses or he's wearing nerdy glasses, I can't tell you how many people match with me because of these glasses. And then they talk to me and they're probably like, ah, shit. Single subject swipers. They like the glasses. They thought he's a nerd. I'm a different kind of nerd than them, apparently. And then they're out. And same thing with me. I matched with somebody the other day and I'm like, I really like your glasses. Scroll down. She's not wearing her glasses in all her photos. And I come to find out that she doesn't usually wear the glasses. But that's what I was attracted to. So that's the single subject. Those are the people who you match with, and it might turn into something, but sometimes you match with and it's nothing, or they never match with you and you're okay with that. It's like, I'll take a flyer, but if they never match back with me, like, I'm okay with that. That's number 3. Number 4, and this is where most of the people who you match with, these are people who you actually think you have something in common with. I very much want this person to see me and swipe back. Please swipe right on me. That's this group of people. I will make time for you if you swipe right on me. People in this group. I will figure out a way to text with you, to organize a potential date. I will give you as much time as I can. That's where everyone should be. It doesn't matter who the person is. It doesn't matter what they look like, what their interests are. And you're just, if you find someone that gives you that feeling like, oh, I really want this woman to match with me. I really want this guy to swipe right on me when he sees this. Please be on this app later today. It would make my day, week, month, year, whatever. That's where you're going to find most of your matches. And that's where, if you go and download our guide to how to set up your dating profile and the mistakes that people make in their profiles, that's our pocket. That's where we spend a lot of time. And for what we do for clients of ours, for other people who have asked us for help, that's where the focus is. That's where you make your profile attractive to them, to get that person. It's not about finding people. It's that when you find someone that you want that match back, you want that, please swipe right on me. How can you set up your dating profile to get that person's attention? And that's what we focus on. So if you're interested in that, certainly reach out to us. And then the last one is, this person's probably out of my league, but like, shoot your shot, man. I mean, go for it. Shoot your shot. Sometimes they don't write back. Sometimes they do. And when enough of them do, you're kind of like, wait a minute, maybe these people aren't out of my league. Also, don't tell women that you think they're out of your league, because it's not attractive to them. They want you to be confident in yourself. But if you say, I thought you were out of my league, but then this happened in our conversation, and sort of make fun of a thing that you don't like playfully, or something that you did that maybe made her very excited. For example, the woman who I went from 45 minutes talking to driving out to have, out of nowhere, I was like, I need to impress you. I need to figure out a way to make sure that you continue to talk to me. Tell me your favorite kind of cheese and I will make a limerick out of it. And she thought it was hilarious. And so she gave me her favorite kind of cheese. Now I'm hoping Swiss, a lot of things rhyme with Swiss. Even cheddar, you can rhyme better, you can rhyme header if you're playing soccer. I don't know. There's a lot of things that rhyme with cheddar. Brie is perfect. It's a good cheese. It's a good rhyming cheese. Why are we talking about rhyming cheeses? Because this ended up getting me a date with this woman, and perhaps a second, third, fourth, whoever, 50th date. I don't know. We're not at that point yet. But the point is, a limerick about cheese got me a date. So do something that's out of the ordinary. Of course, what kind of cheese does she pick? Manchego. What the fuck rhymes with manchego cheese? I did it. I'm not going to read you the limerick, although I kind of cheated. I put manchego in the middle of a sentence. But what I did learn is that manchego cheese is from La Mancha, which felt very limericky. So I went with, there once was a man from La Mancha who grilled up some cheese on his plancha. The rest of the stuff was pertinent to the conversation. I was trying to be a little bit personal, and somehow I pulled it off. At least pulled it off enough to get a date out of it. And so, I mean, feel free to steal my cheese limerick line. I'm never using it again. That's a one and done. You can't do it twice. So that's out. but you're free to use it. And let me know if it works, because it's going to work. It's going to work. And what happened was, then I told this woman, I think that you were out of my league. And she's like, oh, no, don't say that. I was like, no, I should say I thought you were out of my league. But then I nailed that cheese limerick, and now I think we're on even ground. And then there we are. Never tell someone that they are out of your league. Never tell someone, like that one moment, that you're out of their league either. But there are people who you're nervous about. If this, I can't hold it. The person I was supposed to hang out with tonight, I mean, she's 10 years younger than me. I'm listening to my voice. I don't know what's happening there. And so that's a situation where it's like, just take a deep breath. The worst thing that happens is you go out and nothing happens. And I did use my line, which I do use a lot because it's the truth. And I'll leave you with this. I'm an excellent first date. I put on one of my profiles, I'm the best first date you will ever have. And then after that, the wheels fall off. I've said this a million times on the show. Second date's pretty good. First date might be great. Second date could be great, depending on, after that, I got nothing. And now I can't even go on Tinder. Have a good one. Thank you for listening. Honestly, I don't say that enough. I really appreciate it. If you've gotten to this point in the show, you're awesome. And if you send me a message, I will personally give you a cheese limerick, not to try and pick you up, but just as a thank you. Friend, otherwise, listener, send me a direct message and I will create, and tell me your favorite cheese, obviously. And I will try to limerick your cheese. Talk to you next time.